Stories from the Medicine Wheel, a production put on by the Milwaukee Public Theater, uses puppets to tell stories about Native American culture.
We learned very early on that there's really no such thing as Native American culture because there are so many different nations, and they have many things in common, but each nation has its own distinct personality. And we thought that it would be most interesting and powerful and also respectful to treat each of the nations individually.
They used 4 different stories to do this. They brought in Ibex Puppetry out of New York to help with this project. Heather Henson of the famed Jim Henson, maker of the Muppets family, and award-winning puppet maker Mark Ruffin helped create the puppets as well as with the storytelling.
They're helping us with all elements, not just the puppets, but also learning more about the cultures and going out and visiting with Native communities and Native elders. But Mark has a hand in all the puppets. If I come up with a design or an idea for how I think a puppet can work, I go to Mark and say, Mark, here's this, is this going to work? And Mark's response is always very positive because he's a positive guy, and if he's got another direction, he'll give it to me. If he likes it, that's fine. But he's kind of the master puppet builder for all the puppets. So all of us are checking in with Mark to make sure the work that we're doing is good.
Award-winning puppet maker Mark Ruffin early on was given a lot of support in his creativity to get here.
My mom taught me to sew when I was 4 years old. And then my grandmother, she taught me needlework, knitting, crocheting, embroidery, just gave me the tools to create. And my dad saw that he's an art teacher in the Philadelphia public school system, and he saw that I had an interest in puppets. Now after having watched Jim Henson on television and Sesame Street and seeing the work of Bill Baird and other famous puppeteers, Kukla, Fran and Ollie, but I was really influenced by the work of Jim Henson. And my dad saw that I had an interest in puppets, and he came home with a book, One Simple Puppet Making, for me, and that started me on my way.
From that, he started creating puppets and writing scripts. He attended the Fashion Institute of Technology, where he studied fashion design.
I mean, I just apply what I've learned along the way. And primarily I work with cloth, so needle and thread, and then just being in environments to grow, where your talent is nurtured, you pick up other techniques to get a job done.
Getting the job done led him to winning a Daytime Emmy for costume and design for Sesame Street, and has taken him to Broadway.
The works of my hand have taken me to work on Broadway shows, building costumes for shows like The Lion King, the original cast. There were a lot of hands on the show. I personally worked on Rafiki's Crown and Scar, and worked a little on him. So we work on Disney shows and started building costumes for like the Zero to Hero parade. And so, just being involved in the creative community.
Mark Ruffin said he was taught early on to use his skills to provide income, to be his own currency.
Everybody's given something, and I heard once someone say, and it resonated with me, that your gifts make room for you. So, the rest is, it's all up to you. So thinking, my uncle gave me the book Think and Grow Rich very early on, said read this, so I had a lot of people encouraging me. All this has to...
For those young people who want to get into the arts, he says, go for it, do it.
I'm gonna make it lighter. I think all children should be encouraged. They deserve to get a story every night. Whatever their creative minds gravitate to should be encouraged. My dad would always say, the best thing you can give a kid is a pad of paper and a pack of crayons, and just let them create their own world.
Mark, fellow IBEX member, and the Milwaukee Public Theater team are bringing visual life, building puppets to tell the stories from the different Native American nations in the Wisconsin area.
We have puppets to represent different figures, Thunderbirds. So we have Thunderbird puppets that will represent the Thunderbirds and then go on to represent the four directions. And there we have a puppet that is a headdress that represents the rabbit. So the actress who's playing the rabbit gets to just move like a rabbit, and her head is actually what manipulates the puppet.
Mark wants all kids to be able to see the production, Stories from the Medicine Wheel.
The stories are classic. The more you learn about other cultures, the more I learn about other cultures, the more I know we're all the same.